welcome Dr. Mata, and it's a pleasure to have you here today. She is a cataract and glaucoma specialist who has her advanced training in glaucoma at Moorfields Eye Hospital, London, in UK, and she has also served as an eye specialist in Supreme Court of India for the esteemed judges and in the Parliament and ex esteemed ministers of our country. So we have this illuminary glaucoma specialist with us here today, who's going to discuss a case on neovascular glaucoma. Over to you, Dr. Prerna Mata.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Vella, first for inviting me here. I'll start my screen share. Is it visible?
Yeah, it is visible. You can
Yes,
see
ma'am.
the full screen. Yeah, go on the slideshow.
It's going to take a second.
Ma'am, you can expand the screen, ma'am. Down below, if you can go down.
Yeah, here.
Niche aaja. Down.
I think
On your right side.
I'll restart that. Just
Sure.
1 second.
No problem.
Click on the slideshow.
Yeah,
That's
is it visible?
Yeah. Yeah, it is visible. Please go ahead.
Sorry for the delay. Yeah. So I'm talking about this patient who came to us during COVID times. Basically, April, May was very bad for this country. At that time, everybody was ignoring all the eye problems and was just bothered about COVID. That was rightly done at that time. So this patient also was under regular follow-up before with some glaucoma specialist in Lucknow, and then he moved to Noida. He's a 65-year-old male patient, came with sudden onset of severe pain, redness, dimness of vision, watering, and photophobia in the left eye. He was having these symptoms for 1 week, but they suddenly progressed on one day. He was diabetic for 20 years, hypertensive, hyperlipidemia. Everything was under treatment, but during COVID, things got a little deranged because the treatment was not continued properly. He had a history of pars plana vitrectomy, which was done in the right eye due to tractional RD 3 years back. And right eye, again, he had RD, and then again, the surgery was repeated, and he lost his vision in the right eye post-surgery. Left eye cataract surgery was done for grade 3 nuclear sclerosis 2 years back, and he was on intravitreal injections because of diabetic retinopathy, which was again discontinued because of COVID. So on examination, right eye was PL negative, left eye vision was finger counting close to face, conjunctiva was congested, cornea was hazy, pupil was mid-dilated, sluggish reaction, iris had hazy view and lens was visible, pseudophakic. Fundus had hazy view and intraocular pressure of the eye was 50. Gonioscopy was not done on that visit. When we checked the medication history, he was using alpha-GAN-Z brimonidine eye drops for last 6 months because on his last visit, some pressures were borderline. So his eye specialist had started him on alpha-GAN-Z. After that, patient did not get his eye checkup done and presented with the above complaints. And he was not very regular with his medicines. Maybe he did not understand the severity of the problem. Immediate intervention was to reduce the IOP. So injection mannitol was given 20%, 100 ml TDS, iparesa, dorzolamide twice a day for 3 days. He was given maximum medical therapy, Combigan, Brinzagan, and started on low dose of steroids and cyclogel eye drops for making him comfortable. So investigations were done after 3 days of maximum medication. Cornea became clear. We could see the AC had mild flare. New vessels were seen on the iris surface along the pupillary margin. So it was grade 3 NVI because it was visible in 2 to 3 quadrants. Gonioscopy also was done at that visit, and new vessels were seen along the trabecular meshwork, and they were peripheral anterior synechiae in 3 quadrants. Fundus had neovascularization of the disc, CD was 0.6, peripheral laser marks were visible, and obviously foveal reflex was dull because there were hemorrhages at the posterior pole. So ultrasound A scan, right eye showed tractional RD. We did OCT, which showed distorted foveal counter with cystic edema. So we came to the differential diagnosis it was pretty much visible as a neovascular, but then acute angle closure, ischemic syndrome, uveitis. So it kind of ruled out everything. And then finally we took some images of the anterior segment and the angle. And this is not the actual patient images I picked up from the net because I did not have the retinal image of the patient. So this is how it looked like, neovascularization of the disc and everything. So diagnosis of neovascular glaucoma was made for the left eye. Patient had raised IOP, painful red eye, angle closed by new vessels and fibrovascular membrane, history of proliferative diabetic retinopathy, and history of using anti-glaucoma medication. So
1 minute remaining, ma'am.
Okay. So to control the ischemia, we had to go ahead with the PRP with the help of my retina colleague. He underwent PRP 3 settings. After 5 to 7 days, he was taken for anti-VEGF injection. After 5 to 7 days of that, the patient was basically neovascularization regressed in 2 weeks, and then IOP came down to 25. And he was, we had to go ahead with GDD, glaucoma drainage devices, because there was no other option. He was a pseudophakic patient. So basically, now we can do the discussion on NVG as, what is the principle of treatment of NVG is controlling the ischemia, finding the alternative outflow channels, and controlling the painful blind eye. So we are all aware of this. So causes of NVG, as we all know, is PDR. PDR is the most important cause of NVG, and only my take, I don't want to go ahead with all this. So management is prophylactic treatment. Whenever what my suggestion for all the retina colleagues of mine are, whenever we are treating diabetic retinopathy patients, I think we should refer all of them to a glaucoma specialist as well. When the case has gone from NPDR to PDR, the patient has to be under regular follow-up with the glaucoma specialist as well, in case there is any kind of NVG developing, because once that is full-blown, there's no going back. So in early stage, we can do PRP and medical therapy, and we can still try and control the pressure. In advanced stages, then you have to go ahead with TRAB and GDD, and end stage is cyclodestructive. Right now, patient doesn't have very significant vision. He was already one-eyed. After GDD also, the vision was dropping. He has 660, but not very good vision. So the take-home message is early intervention in case of NVG can save the vision. And IOP control must be for long-term rehabilitation. So early surgery is required in these patients. And GDD is better than just TRAB in pseudophakic and aphakic eyes. And all eyes, most importantly, with predisposing conditions like PDR, CRVO, retinal surgeries, any retinal surgery for that matter, ocular ischemic syndrome, must have glaucoma consult before they leave the hospital. Thank you.
I think that's very nicely presented. Now I'll invite our discussants, Dr. Pradeep Vyas, to please kindly discuss this case, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Balla. She has very nicely presented the case of neovascular glaucoma, and all of us knows that it's very, very difficult to manage. And it's the most common form of secondary glaucoma, which we encounter in our practice as a glaucoma expert. So the management is difficult, but we have to be very, very careful about diagnosis of the patient. Early you diagnose, easy to manage. How you can diagnose every time, whenever you have a patient of diabetes and diabetic retinopathy, do a good gonioscopy with a high magnification, look for the NVA, do a good slit lamp examination, look at the iris to see the NVIs at very early stage. If you can pick up at very early stage, then definitely you can manage very nicely. In the late stage, it's always very difficult to do the treatment. And obviously the treatment approach is you have to involve the retina expert, because primarily the retina expert has to manage the case. Nicely done. Have anti-VEGF in their armamentarium, which is very good, but very briefly for 4 to 6 weeks. But once you give the anti-VEGF, immediately the new vessels that disappear and the cornea becomes clear, and you would be able to do a good PRP or maybe a good ARC in these cases. So do a good PRP, and you have to prevent the secretion of VEGF into the eye. Otherwise, this vicious cycle will keep on going and going and going, and you won't be able to manage this patient, and eventually the patient would lose the vision. And the follow-up is also very difficult. The simple reason is that because you have done so aggressive PRP that the perimetry is never reliable. so much of the ganglion cells are lost because of the high pressure, plus because of the PRP. That's why the gonioscope, the perimetry is not so reliable. So always you have to rely on your clinical examination and the intraocular pressure. You have to aggressively lower the intraocular pressure, and to aggressively lower the intraocular pressure, the best thing in your armamentarium is the Ahmed glaucoma valve, the AGV. Put the AGV, that's the best way to treat these patients. Otherwise, the trabeculectomy does not work so well. But yes, if you have treated the retina very aggressively and there is no chances of the further new vessel formation, then the trabeculectomy may work in some of these patients. Otherwise, now you have a TSCPC in your armamentarium, and with the G6 probe, the micropulse, you can save the eyes. Probably the patient may require a multiple sitting of micropulse laser, but you can control the intraocular pressure in a very, very difficult cases. One thing I would like to highlight, whenever you are using the mannitol or a glycerol in these patients, you have to be very careful. Otherwise, either their diabetes will go haywire, or there is a risk of developing the ketoacidosis. So both the things are very dangerous for the patient. So we have to be very, very careful for the mannitol and for the glycerol. Yes, Dr. Balla.
Yeah, sir. Can I request Dr. Ronnie George to please comment on the case?
Yeah, so this is, I agree with what Dr. Pradeep Vyas has said. He has provided fairly detailed ways of how you deal with it. And the important thing is to recognize it early and take care of it early. And also keep in mind that PRP is really, really important. Just giving an anti-VEGF injection once and thinking that everything will go away is not the solution. Unless you address the primary problem, whatever you do for the pressure is not going to really help you. So keep in mind that it is a multi-speciality disease and needs to be managed as such.
Can I add something, Dr. Balla?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah. Also, in addition to the excellent points made by the presenter, Dr. Vyas and Ronnie, the speed at which you act is very important in a patient with neovascular glaucoma. So once you detect that there are new vessels on the iris and you give the anti-VEGF and you do the first sitting of PRP, your retinal colleague should not call them after 2 weeks, or, that speed should be quite soon. Within a couple of days, they should complete the 3 sittings of PRP. You should concurrently monitor the intraocular pressure. And if there are synechiae and if the pressures are not coming down, then you go ahead and do your surgical management as quickly as possible. So this doesn't wait like our typical primary glaucomas do. So the speed with which you respond and the frequency that you see the patient should be very, quick. That I think is important. Thank you.
I think those are very useful points. So it is not only just giving anti-VEGF injections and forgetting about the case. Please do PRP also. And the follow-up of the patient is very important, and rightly stressed by Dr. Gauri Murthy that surgery should be taken early, and it is the frequency with which this patient is seen and follow-up is done is very, very important.